Human trafficking was a high agenda of the National People's Congress earlier this year.
要坚决追责问责，对那些拐卖妇女儿童的犯罪行为要严厉打击，严惩不贷。
They will buy the women and even girls into sex slavery, that's a huge market out there. Then individual families who want to make sure they have a wife for their own son.
It's not just Pakistani girls who are trafficked to China. Beijing is fast gaining notoriety as the trafficking capital of the world, and beyond it, digging deep into China's trafficking problem. At the heart of this brutal human rights violation is China's one-child policy. For 35 years, Chinese couples were allowed to have only one child, and the soon was reaction in 2015, but the repercussions still continue. There are 34 million more men in China than women. That's how skewed the sex ratio is, 34 million more men. This is because of an old-ending preference for boys due to the one-child policy. Like trafficking, abortions of female fetuses and cases of female infanticide have also risen. The restriction on women's reproductive rights continues because the communist state maintains that it has the right to restrict the size of a Chinese family. By the way, this is a violation of the international human rights law, denial of reproductive rights, and it's been happening in China. This is a draconian demographic control that has turned into a human rights disaster. The case of missing girls of China has forced trafficking of girls into China. Not only Pakistan, bribe trafficking from northern Myanmar to China has also risen. Many of these women belong to ethnic minorities in Myanmar. Women facing harassment at home are lured by promises of employment in China. Once they reach that country, they're sold for anywhere between $3,000 to $13,000. Imagine, $3,000. That's the price of a woman, her freedom and her rights in China. These women are put in jails once they leave China, then they're thrown to produce babies as quickly as possible, and they're trafficked, turned into sex slaves, they're childbearing machines. Victims include women from Cambodia, North Korea, Pakistan, Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, even Russia. Like you wonder why such a large-scale problem has never caught public furor. Where is the answer? Violence against women is not priority for most of these governments that I mentioned. And they cannot take on China. They don't want to take on China. They depend on China, and then illustrates that relationship for women. On interfere, China's police said that it had rescued more than 1,000 Southeast Asian female trafficking victims and arrested as many suspects. But there are no follow-up reports on the statement. Women and children are trafficked for prostitution. Men from these countries are trafficked for forced labor. These people are trudging to work for long hours in agriculture, plumbing, construction, mining and garment industries, often without any breaks. There are no laws to stop such crimes against humanity. 2 years ago, the US State Department faced China in Tier 3 on a trafficking list. Child labor, sex trafficking, extraction of organs, and surrogacy, all these are everyday realities in the high GDP cities of China like Fujian, Guangdong, and Shanghai. China is the trafficking hub at the World Trafficking Prohibition Protocol in 2009, but China's own law remains sketchy on this. Punishment for forced labor is just 3 years in jail. Traffickers often escape without action, and China escapes because of its economic might. But the world just cannot sit and watch this gruesome violation unfold because China has money. Trafficking is a blatant murder of human rights,